So the trilogy has ended with the Battle of the Five Armies. I gotta say, as far as conclusions to stories go, this was very satisfying. I mean, for a movie that was basically just a trumped up hour-and-a-half long fight scene, I came out pretty impressed. The movie itself had a lot of exciting moments, a lot of good battles between particular characters. We actually got to see Saruman and Elrond fight for the first time, and that was cool. Galadriel had a good bit herself. Of course, you had the big names, all the dwarves. Bilbo got some action in there, Gandalf, Bard the Bowman. I was very excited to see how Dane, the Lord of the Iron Hill Dwarves, was portrayed by Billy Connolly. That got a few cheers out of me in the theater. And it wrapped up pretty nicely. So the first 30 minutes of the movie were spent building up bits and pieces and plot threads and getting characters into place for all the action later on. And like I said, the remaining hour and a half was one massive battle. So in terms of story, this was probably the weakest movie out of the three. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had fun with it, but not much really happened. I mean, aside from Thorin's growth and realization of what he was becoming, not much really changed from the beginning to the end. No grand lessons, no big morals. It was really just an excuse to watch humans, elves, and dwarves beat the hell out of some orcs. Still fun though. However, I will give it credit, out of the three movies, this one has the best pacing. And the battles take their time rising and dipping and rising and dipping, occasionally breaking for dialogue, kind of like how I predicted in the Hobbit review I just did. Not like that was really a hard guess. But in terms of quality of the fights, I mean, I'm going to be talking about that a lot. They were clearly saving their best stuff for here, which is all I asked for. So often in movies, they like to play their cards too early, and so you get all the excitement out of the way first. You've seen the stuff before, or you've seen it done better in the earlier movies. Not so in this case. They actually do manage to pick up a few new ideas, a few creative uses of environment and character and settings and things like that. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler, but there is this one fight scene that you see in the trailers where you have Bard fighting in a town, and he sees his kids being attacked by I guess it was a troll or a very large orc, I don't know. And they're all the way at the bottom of a hill. And there's no way he's going to be able to reach them in time, so he grabs this dilapidated cart from the side of the road, jumps inside of it, rolls down, barrels into the orc, sword first, and plunges his sword inside of its gut. That was awesome! Now in terms of character, you really did get a lot more sense of what Thorin was going through as opposed to what the other movies did. The gold lust thing that we've been building up kind of got some notice in the second movie. By the beginning of the movie though, it's clear Thorin is completely engrossed with all the gold and all the gems and everything, to the point where he doesn't even want to share it with the people of Lake Town, even though their entire town is burned, and the people of Lake Town did give them warm clothes, armor, weaponry, food for the trip. So Thorin's being a dick, but I mean, we can see why. Doesn't excuse him, but we see why, and that's important. As far as filling in the gaps from the book, which a lot of people are going to ask about, I'd say they actually did a phenomenal job. The actual battle in the book is only a couple of pages long and is extremely scant on details. And at the point where Bilbo actually gets knocked out at one point and you miss the rest of the battle. However, to get a legitimate movie out of this, they actually put in a lot more effort in characters. Thranduil, for example, comes in to help the refugees of Lake Town early on. So you actually get to see a bit more humanity from him, which was important because so far he's just been a dick. As far as adaptations go, again, this fits in with the others. Very good stuff. Will I review it? I don't know. I mean, again, I don't really have a lot of critique. I mean, if I had to critique anything, it would probably just be with the ending. Now, no spoilers here, don't worry. I will say that the ending left me wanting more, but not in the usual, oh my god, I never want to leave Middle-earth. You remember in Return of the King how they had like 5 or 6 endings, as some people have critiqued? How the resolution just never seems to stop? Battle of the Five Armies does not have that problem. No, instead it actually kind of ends abruptly. Like all of a sudden, battle's over, everyone go home. They managed to wrap things up neatly, I guess, but we don't really get to see what happens to all the characters. And in a movie like this, in a series that has been going on for 3 movies, with all these characters that you care about, I want to know what happens to everybody. We get to find out what happens to a few of them, but a little disappointed on that. And if there were any fight scenes I had to critique, I would say the fight with Bolg went on a little too long. I mean, there were some very cool parts there, don't get me wrong, but I would not have ended it the way that the movie did. But again, I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, so I'm not going to say how it happened. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it already, go see it again. I know I plan to. Also, stick around for the credits. There's some very nice music and some amazing artwork. All the characters get these little sketches of themselves, and they're phenomenal. Plus, you get to see the sketch work of some of the sets, and very impressive stuff. You can see how much these guys, Peter Jackson and crew, cared about making a good movie. I like it when they go the extra step like that. It really shows they care. So, have you seen the Battle of the Five Armies yet? What did you think? Comment below and let's get a discussion started. And if you like this more vlog-style review, let me know. There are always more movies out in theaters. Till next time, guys. I also like all the things they found for Bilbo to do. Son of a bitch. Never film in the same room as your cell phone.